Have you ever heard of Max Logan? Did you know that at the age of 13, he invented an electromagnetic device capable of extracting energy from the air? Did you know that the device cost only $14? Watch the video until the end, and you'll find out what this device is and why official science hasn't recognized the teenager's invention. Are you ready? Then let's go. Max Logan, born on November 14, 2002, in San Francisco, demonstrated outstanding abilities in science at a young age. In 2016, the 13-year-old teenager announced the creation of a device capable of extracting energy literally from the air. According to Max, this invention cost only $14 and allowed for the conversion of electromagnetic energy into electricity. Demonstrating his creation, he was able to light up a string of LED lights, which caused a wide resonance among the public and the media. The boy was invited to various youth forums, including the Global Youth Summit and ECHO South by Southwest, where his ideas were discussed and highly praised. Many began to compare him to the great Nikola Tesla, seeing him as a future genius of engineering. However, soon the interest in Max's device faded, and the future of his inventions remained unknown. Today, little is known about the life of Max Logan. After a surge of popularity, he returned to a normal life, likely continuing his scientific pursuits away from public attention. As far as is known, Max enjoys reading. He enjoys writing, traveling, and sports, especially basketball. He has a pet dog that he loves very much. Despite his invention not receiving wide recognition in scientific circles, Max's story remains an inspiring example for many young people striving to change the world through science and technology. Currently, Max is studying at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, so this is likely not the last news related to him. Max Logan, along with his brother Jacob, set up the Logan Labs right in their backyard, where they conducted various scientific experiments. At the age of 13, Max developed a unique device that cost only $14. It was called the Energy Horizon Gatherer and was positioned as an affordable, eco-friendly, and wireless energy source. According to Max, his invention could capture radio waves from the surrounding space and convert them into direct current for various electrical devices, such as LEDs. During the demonstration of the device, it showed its effectiveness by powering a circuit of LED lamps without the need for connection to external power sources. A comment from one of the journalists read, "Imagine if a device like this were 20 times larger, what possibilities would open up?" Thanks to this invention, Max quickly gained fame, appearing in the headlines of major global publications. He was invited to large international events, such as the Global Youth Summit Nexus, ECHO South by Southwest, as well as the Global Green Awards ceremony and the Flaunt Magazine Academy Awards. Later, he participated in the 2017 World Science Festival in Brisbane. In 2017, a video from Max appeared online in which he discussed the potential destruction of the universe by CERN, which caused a wide resonance. What is CERN? CERN is the European Organization for Nuclear Research, the largest particle physics laboratory in the world, located at the border between France and Switzerland. The main activity of the scientists here involves accelerating particles to speeds close to the speed of light and then colliding them to study their interactions. Have we found ourselves in a parallel universe? Max suggested that CERN has already destroyed our universe, and we are now in a parallel version next to the previous one. In addition, this young genius expressed the idea of the existence of many parallel worlds that arise continuously. According to Max's theory of multiple parallel universes, the reality of one universe can be radically different from another, creating completely different conditions for life. Is the existence of parallel dimensions real? Many people are convinced of the reality of parallel, or multiverses, relying on the assumptions of Albert Einstein, who allowed for such a possibility. According to the scientist, the inhabitants of parallel spaces might outwardly resemble Earthlings, but possess a different level of awareness. Such were the thoughts of this young man. My main goal is to be of help, to create a future where people can live happily and safely. Max shared this on his page on one of the social networks. Max Logan was greeted with enthusiasm as a wonder child promising humanity free energy. He actively participated in interviews and gave presentations, astonishing the audience with his enthusiasm and ability to handle complex scientific concepts. Max's popularity was reflected in the profile of the We Are Family Foundation. By lighting the way for millions of people around the world in need of light, Max aims to improve their safety, education, and opportunities that many take for granted. However, not all scientists supported the invention of the young genius. Patrick Tochilko, a renowned physicist, expressed his critical opinion regarding Logan's developments. His claim about free energy from pure water is fantasy. Such a thing as free energy simply does not exist, and he clearly does not realize what he is talking about. He throws around complex terms whose meanings most people won't understand, creating a false impression that he himself has a firm grasp of the subject. Nevertheless, today we are drawn not so much to his engineering projects as to the theory of multiverses. Alexander Takashi, a master of physics specializing in classical gravity, characterized Max's theory as complete nonsense. Undoubtedly, he knows how to speak beautifully, and I have no doubt about his intelligence. He generously uses scientific jargon without any connection to real science. He mentions terms like measurement and quantum mechanics, but doesn't explain why they are needed in his reasoning or how they support his views. And here arises another serious hitch. Max Logan's invention turned out to have little practical application. The atmosphere contains too little free electromagnetic energy to be effectively converted into electricity. The YouTube channel Electroboom conducted an experiment based on Max's theory. They used a wire to measure the electromagnetic activity of the air. What Max was able to obtain was less than 1 volt. It turned out that Max's innovation had existed for about 100 years. His parents were accused of promoting a device that had no real value. Local media and scientists who supported the project were also criticized for insufficient verification of the invention. Years have passed, but we are still far from creating an enhanced version of Max's electromagnetic combine. Unfortunately, this is yet another case where the media grabs onto a sensation without bothering to thoroughly fact-check. Even if Max had built a combine 20 times larger, it wouldn't have increased electricity production, as there is a limit to the amount of energy that can be extracted. What Max created was actually a crystal radio receiver, a device that has been known for over a century. A crystal radio is the simplest type of radio receiver, popular in the early years of broadcasting. Perhaps some of you built one yourself. As a hobby in childhood, to operate such a receiver, a power source is required, whether it's a battery or an external network, and it only uses the power it receives from the radio signal. So, we're not talking about free energy at all. The electricity that generates current in the device's coils comes from the radio transmitter, whose power ranges from a few watts to 50,000 watts, even at maximum power levels. At a distance of 1 kilometer from the transmitter, the maximum voltage will be just half a volt. The reason lies in the fact that radio waves spread out, gradually losing their strength, and objects like trees, buildings, and moisture in the air further absorb part of the signal. The efficiency of the combine could only be increased in one way, by boosting the power of the radio transmitter itself. It is obvious that this has nothing to do with free energy. Moreover, such an inductive system is quite inefficient, and all the power spent on the transmitter's operation can never be fully recovered by a device similar to the one invented by Max. In fact, the blame lies more with the news channels that cover the story. Journalists should have shown healthy skepticism, as free energy machines are, by definition, impossible since they contradict the first or second law of thermodynamics. After his invention failed, Logan transitioned to a more subdued life. His last appearance on social media was a Facebook post made in April 2020, where he shared, "I am passionate about the process of creating something new. My goal is to make positive changes in the world and inspire others." At the end of 2022, one user from another social network decided to find out what happened to Logan. He managed to find a photo of Max and his family taken in March 2021. The post with the photo was marked with the following words: "I understand that there hasn't been much news about Max Logan and his family lately, but it seems they are deliberately avoiding the spotlight, with no attempts to reach out. I know that his parents recently started a new business in Nevada, and he is working on a patent. It seems that things are going well for their family. They just prefer to stay away from the virtual space." On November 14th, 2024, Max Logan will turn 22 years old. Many parents strive to raise their child to be successful and talented. They try to enroll them in various courses and activities at an early age, dreaming of providing them with a bright future. Let me introduce you to the stories of some child prodigies and their subsequent fates. Kim Un-young. Kim's IQ reaches 210. By the age of 5, he was already fluent in 4 languages: Korean, English, French, and Japanese. He also easily solved differential equations. He demonstrated all of this live on a Japanese television show. 3 years later, Kim was already working at NASA, but after decades, he left, considering his life there to be routine. "I just ate, slept, and did assignments without understanding what I was doing. I felt terribly lonely," Kim later admitted. Upon returning to Seoul, he switched to studying civil engineering, earned his doctorate, and chose a career as a professor. Some believe he lost his potential and missed the chance to become one of the most influential people on the planet. But few know that Kim simply wanted to live an ordinary life. Akrit Yashwal. The 7-year-old Indian performed his first surgery, restoring finger mobility for a neighbor girl who had suffered burns. A couple of years later, he became a medical student. In 2024, Akrit turned 31, and he is still fully immersed in medicine. His dream is to create drugs capable of curing cancer. Pavel Konoplev, a prodigy of the Soviet era, could already count and read at the age of 3. By 6, he had mastered logarithms. Despite his high intellectual abilities, Pavel often received low grades in elementary school due to conflicts with a teacher who considered his behavior arrogant. However, by 4th grade, he became a straight-A student. At 14, Pavel participated in the creation of the first Russian computer, and his scientific works were published in the magazine Science and Life. Later, he enrolled at Moscow State University. Young scientist was passionate about science, but didn't forget about his social life. He enjoyed interacting with older people and showed great interest in community activities. At 18, Pavel even became a deputy. However, his life was overshadowed by health issues. Starting at 19, he was under the care of a psychiatrist who had to regularly prescribe him medication. At the age of 29, Pavel passed away in the hospital. At the age of 10, Andrei Klopin entered the Guinness Book of Records. In 2007, he proposed 3 scientific hypotheses in the field of astronomy. Later, Andrei changed his area of interest and graduated from law school. According to him, being a record holder helps him in conversations with girls, making him seem smarter in their eyes. Angela and Diana Knyazov, born in 1986 and 1987 respectively, graduated from school in just 5 years. At the ages of 10 and 11, they enrolled in the Financial Academy under the government of Russia, which they successfully completed in 3 years instead of the standard 5. Then the girls graduated with honors from law school and continued their studies at Stanford, earning their doctoral degrees there. Now, the sisters live in the US and work as professors at New York University. When Jacob Barnett was just 2 years old, doctors diagnosed him with a mild form of autism, which made concentration and social adaptation difficult. Thanks to his parents' support, the boy was able to overcome the challenges associated with his condition and, at 14, enrolled at Indiana University, choosing to study mathematics and physics. As the youngest student, Jacob not only managed to get excellent grades, but also helped solve problems for his classmates and graduate students. For his achievements, the university administration offered him a paid position as a staff member. In his free time, Jacob explores Einstein's theory of relativity and develops his own concept of the formation of the universe. At 10 years old, Plin Max first took to cooking, dissatisfied with his mother's skills. By the age of 11, he became interested in reading cookbooks and hosted home dinners for family and friends. At 13, Plin began an internship in restaurants. By 16, he opened his own establishment with 12 seats in Manhattan, where he has been offering American cuisine dishes based on his original recipes for over 6 years. In addition, Plin often appears on cooking television shows. The press calls him the Justin Bieber of cooking. At 11 years old, a schoolgirl from Chicago, Tavi Javinson, became famous by creating a fashion blog called The Style Rookie. Today, it's a popular online magazine that attracts the attention of not just teenagers, but also adults. Tavi has always stood out with her rebellious views and fashion experiments, mixing unusual prints, fabrics, and styles. Soon, a glossy publication took notice of her, and the girl began attending fashion weeks in Paris and New York, giving interviews and reviewing designer collections. Now, Tavi is trying her hand in theater and performing on Broadway. Being a genius isn't always joyful, especially when it comes to parental ambitions. Let's hope that Max Logan will still delight us with his discoveries. Friends, I have an interesting proposal for you. You have a unique opportunity to become part of our team. If you have video editing skills, you can voice over videos in Russian, English, and other languages. Or you can write interesting scripts. We would be happy to work with you. Message our Telegram bot. The link is in the description. That's all for today. Bye, everyone.